Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into a seriously high-stakes biological battle for survival and adaptation. Honestly, it's a clash of evolutionary strategies that has literally shaped every single living thing on our planet. We're looking at the ultimate showdown, the incredibly efficient rapid-fire world of natural cloning versus the complex, totally unpredictable power of genetic variation. It's the clone wars versus the spice of life. So, let's get right into it.
Okay, so imagine for a second, what if you could just press Control-C and Control-V on living things? I mean, really think about the sheer breakneck efficiency of that. No searching for a mate, no complex biological machinery, just instant perfect replication. It sounds totally like science fiction, right? But the crazy thing is, this is exactly what a massive portion of life on Earth does every single day just to ensure its survival.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer today. We're going to start with nature's copy machine, explore plant clones, both natural and artificial, scale up to commercial cloning, shift over to the power of variation, and finally, weigh the ultimate biological trade-off.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, Nature's Copy Machine.
So, what are we actually talking about when we say cloning in biology? Well, it's asexual reproduction. By definition, this is a process resulting in genetically identical offspring from just one parent, totally without the fusion of gametes, which are sex cells. Think about what this means out in the wild. It's a game changer. There is absolutely zero energy wasted searching for a mate. No putting on a flashy display, no fighting off rivals, no traveling miles and miles across dangerous terrain. An organism literally just divides, and because there's zero mixing of genetic information from a second parent, every single resulting organism is a perfect, identical genetic clone of the original.
To really grasp how simple and incredibly effective this strategy is, just think about binary fission in bacteria. A single bacterial cell duplicates its circular chromosome, doubles its internal contents, and then just splits right down the middle. Boom, one cell becomes two. And the wild part? In some bacteria, this entire process happens every 20 minutes. If you do the exponential math on that, it allows them to completely colonize a new area before their competitors have even unpacked their bags. It is literally biological multiplication at breakneck speed.
Moving right along to Section 2, Plant Clones, both natural and artificial.
Let's move to how this actually plays out in the visible world of botany, because plants are basically their own natural cloning factories. Take strawberries, for example. They conquer the soil like an advancing army using things called runners. These are horizontal stems that shoot out sideways, and wherever they touch down, they spawn tiny, completely identical plantlets. It's brilliant. Then, on the flip side, you have underground food storage organs like tubers and bulbs. Take a normal potato. A potato is really just a swollen underground stem packed with nutrients. You know those little eyes on a potato? Those are actually buds that will sprout into completely independent, genetically identical potato plants the following year. Nature is quite literally farming itself here, locking in nutrients to guarantee exact copies for the next season.
But, humans are pretty clever. We didn't wait very long to hijack this whole asexual system for our own benefit. Gardeners have been artificially cloning plants for ages by simply taking cuttings. It's so easy. You select your absolute healthiest, best-looking parent plant, slice off a section that has a new bud, and maybe dip the stem in some rooting powder, which is basically just plant hormones to give it a boost. Stick it in some soil or water, and before you know it, you've got cheap, fast, genetically identical plants. We use this artificial method all the time to lock in the exact traits we want, like the perfect sweetness of a specific apple or the vibrant color of a rose, entirely bypassing the slow, unpredictable process of planting seeds.
Which brings us to Section 3, Commercial Cloning via Micropropagation.
Now, how do we take this to an industrial level? Carefully follow along with these steps, because this is where biology meets high-tech manufacturing. It's called tissue culture, specifically micropropagation, done in vitro, which literally means in glass, like a sterile lab dish. First, we take tiny little pieces of a plant, called explants. We sterilize them completely and place them on a nutrient agar. Soon, they grow into this undifferentiated mass of cells called a callus. Then, we add the perfect cocktail of plant hormones, and they develop roots and stems, becoming tiny plantlets ready for potting trays. Now, the truly mind-blowing biological mechanism making this possible is that plant cells, unlike animal tissue, can differentiate throughout their entire life. I mean, you definitely can't grow a whole new sheep from a tiny scrap of adult sheepskin, right? But you can grow an entirely new, fully functional plant from a microscopic piece of a leaf. And the commercial benefits here? They are absolutely staggering. For farmers, it means cheap, massive-scale production with incredibly fast maturity, compared to waiting for seeds to grow. Plus, because it's all done indoors in climate-controlled labs, there are zero seasonal limits. You can grow crops year-round. And since those labs are perfectly sterile, you're guaranteed completely disease-free plants. Imagine you have a crop that naturally resists a devastating local pest. You can just copy it millions of times over. But beyond just farming, this acts as a vital, high-tech conservation tool. It literally gives us a way to pull rare and endangered plant species right back from the brink of extinction.
Okay, but, and this is a massive but, there is a fatal flaw to all of this. A total lack of genetic variation means a single disease or a sudden environmental shift can cause an absolute mass extinction. Think about it. Because they are all perfect clones, no single individual has a unique adaptation to fight back. They all share the exact same genetic Achilles heel. If a new virus comes along and cracks the code to kill just one of them, it can wipe out millions overnight. The entire population is basically balancing on a knife's edge.
So how does nature solve this massive vulnerability? That brings us to Section 4, the power of variation.
Enter the hero of our story, sexual reproduction. This is defined as the fusion of male and female gametes, again, those are sex cells, to produce offspring that are genetically totally different from each other. By taking genetic material from two different parents, nature is constantly shuffling the deck. This mixing introduces the absolutely essential genetic variation that a species needs for long-term survival in a world that is constantly throwing curveballs.
Now, what's really interesting about how this works on a cellular level is the number 23. To make sexual reproduction function perfectly, biology uses a special type of cell division called meiosis to create those gametes, like human sperm and ovum. These cells carry what's called a haploid nucleus. While a normal everyday human body cell has 46 chromosomes, our gametes pack exactly half of that, just 23 chromosomes. It's like two halves of a puzzle. That way, when the two gametes fuse together to become a fertilized zygote, the resulting cell gets back to the full, perfect set of 46 chromosomes, ready to grow into a healthy, totally unique individual.
So let's put these two heavyweight contenders head-to-head for a second. On one side, you have the raw speed and ease of asexual reproduction. It's a single parent using basic mitosis to pump out clones incredibly fast and efficiently. On the other side, you have the highly complex, incredibly energy-intensive business of sexual reproduction. I mean, just think about the crazy amount of energy a peacock spends growing its massive, vibrant feathers just to attract a partner, or the thousands of miles an animal might migrate just to find a mate. It's a massive biological investment, but the payoff is completely unique offspring.
Which perfectly leads us into our final section, Section 5, the ultimate biological trade-off.
We know the massive disadvantage of sexual reproduction. Finding a mate is exhausting. It drains time and energy, and frankly, isolated organisms might just die without ever passing on their genes. But the advantages? They are the paramount reason complex life thrives on Earth. Increased genetic variation means a species can physically adapt over time to completely new environments. If a deadly new pathogen strikes, that variation virtually guarantees that someone, somewhere in that population, happens to hold a natural genetic resistance. Sexual reproduction isn't just a different way to make offspring. It is nature's ultimate, necessary insurance policy.
Which leaves us with a really provocative question to wrap things up. If the environment suddenly changed tomorrow, say the temperature spiked drastically or a brand new predator moved into your town, would you rather be a perfect, highly efficient clone or a genetically unique variation? Asexual reproduction offers the incredible power of rapid, identical multiplication, letting organisms completely dominate favorable conditions with that Control-C efficiency. But sexual reproduction, the true spice of life, ensures that when the going gets tough, life has a diverse, ever-changing toolkit to adapt and survive. It really is the ultimate biological gamble. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today, and I seriously hope you never look at a potato, a strawberry, or even yourself quite the same way again.